Is it on? Is it? Oh, hello and Merry Christmas, everybody, and welcome to Whoville. My name is Mayor Mayhew, and I would like to welcome you all to our festivities this evening as we tell the story of some person who lived on a mountain and came down and got better because of the spirit of Christmas. It's absolutely wonderful. I am a part of it. It will be a great story. But I have been told in order to help with the Who-bilation, we do have some Who drinking rules. So the Book of Who states that you must take a drink every time that the Grinch, that wonderful fellow, figures out that he is rhyming unintentionally. Keep an eye out for that. The second rule that you must drink is anytime we Who's make a word into a Who word, like I just did with Who-bilation. So you will see exactly how many times we do that. It may be hundreds. Who knows? Well, we are going to jump into this story immediately. I'm going to turn it over to our holiday cheermeister, Troy, who will take it from here, and I will see all of you in a little while.
How the Grinch Stole Christmas by Dr. Seuss. Snow begins to fall. A snowflake sweeps by. Its beautiful crystal structure is clear as diamonds. We peer deeper into the snowflake and say a world unlike any other. Tiny clouds wisp by, slopes and mountains of unusual shapes that sparkle with freshly covered snow.
Inside a snowflake, like the one on your sleeve, there happened a story you must see to believe. Way up in the mountain, in the high range of Pontouse, lay a small town of Whoville, the home of the Whos.
Whoville Town Square were suddenly blasted by lights, crowds, music, and noise, noise, noise. It's Christmas time in Whoville.
Ask any Who, and they'll have this to say. There is no place like Whoville around Christmas Day. Every window was flocked, every lamppost was dressed, and the Whoville band marched in their Christmassy best.
A red-faced tuba player blows, and another, smaller horn player marches out of the end of his horn. Then another, even smaller Who appears out of that horn.
Arbor Day was fine, and Easter was pleasant, and every St. Pheasant's Day they ate a pheasant. But every Who knew from their 12 toes to their snout, they loved Christmas the most, without a single Who doubt.
Across the town square, we find two Whos, a postman, Lou Who, and his 5-year-old daughter, Cindy Lou Who, fighting through the crowds.
Come on, Cindy Lou, we've got to keep shopping. Oh my, look at the time.
They head off past a Christmas clock scoreboard above the square. On a platform beneath, an elderly dozing Who. He has a bell on top of his hat, gets gonged by a hammer attached to an egg timer. It jolts him awake to pull a lever which flips a number on the board. It flashes, only 3 days, 17 hours, 33 minutes till Christmas. Across the street from the time platform is the temperature platform, where another Who sits and shivers in shorts and shirt sleeves.
Ooh, it's still cold!
The Lou Whos are still fighting through the Christmas crowds. Lou's sons, Stu Lou Who and Drew Lou Who, run by.
Hey, Dad!
Hey, boys, have a good day at school.
Whatever.
The boys run off.
Yep, early in the morning, best time to shop. This way, we beat the rush.
They're caught in a huge rush. Cindy and Lou scurry past the line of Who's carrying package. The shorter the Who, the taller the stack. Who's carrying towers of package on their fingertip bump into each other and switch packages without caring.
I'm telling you, Cindy Lou, this is my favorite day of the year. 3 days before Christmas. Heads up!
He passes under two teeter-totter guys, alternately launching to attach a huge garland to a building. Cindy hustles through to avoid getting squashed.
Although I do love 2 days before Christmas. Watch your step.
Two Whos roll by on a push-me-pull-me bike.
Home to bake.
To shop.
The bike kicks up a splash.
Then, of course, there's Christmas Eve. Why, what with the Who-bilation and all, duck!
Flock shoots by them and covers a window. We see a pompous-looking Mayor Mayhew and his lackey Hubris, who carries a large, goofy flocking gun. Mayor Mayhew directs the placement of the flock on the storefront as a nervous shopkeeper locks on.
A little flock here, and then some here, and here. Oh, you know what? You better flock the whole thing. We do want this to be the best Christmas ever. And there.
Hubris blows flock all over the front of the building. Lou and Cindy are at a vendor stand.
Then again, there's Christmas itself. That's got to be up there on any list.
Lou lets go of Cindy's hand to pay for something. Cindy gets swept off in the crowd.
Daddy!
Lou notices, raises his hand. Cindy gets passed back to him. He takes her hand. They start walking again like nothing has happened.
Then again, there's the day after Christmas. You know what? They're all great. Come on!
They dash into the hubbub.
Yes. Every Who down in Whoville liked Christmas a lot.
Suddenly, 4 Who teens come barreling over the ridge. They hike enthusiastically away from the town, goofing around, throwing snowballs, while Mount Crumpet, an ominous peak, is in the distance.
But the Grinch, who lived just north of Whoville, didn't.
As the oblivious teens pass, a strange Seussian periscope turns to follow them.
Hey, girls! All the good mistletoe is at the top!
Hey, Drew, I'll race you!
Not if I race you first!
Last one to the top is a stinky old Grinch! You're a stinky Grinch!
They push each other, start racing up the hill. The girls follow past a weathered sign that reads Old Whoville Dump. An ominous green figure is looking through a Seussian periscope viewfinder at the teenagers below. He snickers malevolently, watches them intently.
Well, well, well. Something hooey this way comes.
Over the ridge, the girls look around concerned.
Guys, where are we?
I think we should go back.
What? Don't tell me you're scared of the Grinch.
No.
They say he lives up here in a big cave and he comes down when he's hungry for the taste of Who flesh!
Drew!
You guys.
Further up the mountain,
You're scared of the Grinch. You're scared of the Grinch.
Wait for me.
Stu and his brother suddenly appear to be frozen solid, though not from the cold, but of sheer terror, for right in front of them, while they tremble with fear, is a large, creepy cave door.
Oh, come on, touch it. Touch the door. Do it for me, Stu.
Stu laughs nervously as he turns to his brother. They nod and then tiptoe together. Closer and closer, they move just an inch when the door flings open and out pops the Grinch. A ferocious beast charges out the door. The horrible monster's jaws are wide open, blasting out blood-curdling woof woofs. The 4 scream with terror as the monstrous beast the face of Stu. They leap for their lives and tumble down the side of Mount Crumpet with Junie and Christina tumbling closely behind. The monster is really just an adapted megaphone contraption strapped to the back of a scraggly little dog, Max.
Well done, Max. A hairy green hand. Oh, that's not me.
Oh, that's-
Ha ha! I'm the
A
nerd.
hairy green hand rummages through a bunch of wasted food, tossing aside a rotten piece of celery and bananas. The hand finally lands on an onion.
Oh, good. Thank you, narrator. Serve them right. Those Yuletide-loving, sickly, sweet, nog-sucking cheermongers.
The green, hairy hand moves up to a set of craggy, moldy teeth that take a huge, sloppy bite of the onion.
I really don't like them. No, I don't.
Max looks up to his master, whines at the prospect of what that might mean.
Max, get my cloak. I've been much too tolerant of these Whoville delinquents and their innocent, victimless pranks.
The Grinch steps out of the shadows onto his front porch overlooking Whoville.
So they want to get to know me, do they? They want to spend a little quality time with the Grinch?
The Grinch turns to his dog Max, who now has his cloak. He has long spiky hair that sticks up above his head and seems to have a mind of their own.
I guess I could use a little social interaction.
The Grinch's yellow eyes crinkle as his mouth spreads open malevolently, bearing a rather large smile. Later, Farfingal's department store, huge lines, Who's grabbing every last item, jockeying for position in line. Lou stacks presents in front of Cindy Lou.
We got a snoozle phone for your brother Drew, a snoozle phone for your brother Stu, a munkle for your uncle, a font for your aunt, a fandpaw for your cousin Leon, so we just need...
Stu realizes no one is listening to him as he goes over his list.
Cindy Lou. Hello, Merry Christmas. Excuse me, Cindy Lou, honey.
Stu sees a stack of neatly wrapped boxes as tall as he is, with 2 tiny feet just below, barely able to hold them. He pulls a box right out of the middle to reveal Cindy Lou Who.
Dad,
Yeah?
doesn't this seem like a bit much?
This is what Christmas is all about. Can't you feel it?
Exterior, Whoville Town Square. On a platform is an elderly dozing Who. He has a bell on top of his hat, gets gonged by a hammer attached to an egg timer. It jolts him awake to pull a lever, which cranks the number even closer. It reads 3 days, 16 hours, 22 minutes till Christmas. Another minute to Christmas. Clang. Tires shriek. Every Who stops with a gasp.
The next 5 minutes, 99% off!
A stampede of Who's rushed through the street to the next hill, leaving a gust of snow behind them, as 2 hairy green feet and 4 smaller paws tiptoe through town. 4 Who's on a quad tandem bicycle pass by. Merry Christmas!
Oh, yeah? You bet. Ho, 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 and stuff.
The Grinch is wearing a goofy-looking Who mask and a long brown cloak. The bike with the 4 Who's fall apart and they collapse on each other.
Oh, my. Someone has vandalized that vehicle. You see, Max? This city is a dangerous place.
The Grinch turns to leave with a handsaw suspiciously behind his back.
Oh no.
Oh, no. She's muted. First one of the night.
The Grinch hated Christmas the whole Christmas season.
Top of the day.
Flatfoot.
Now, please don't ask why. No one quite knows the reason.
Hey, kid. Here's a present for you. Be sure to run real fast with it now.
The Grinch hands the handsaw off to 2 young Who children.
Come on, double time. Let's go. Move, 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 move.
It could be that his head wasn't screwed on just right. It
Whoa.
could be, perhaps, that his shoes were too tight. But I think the most likely reason of all may have been that his heart was 2 sizes too small.
The Grinch walks across the town square, bumping into Who's without a single care. Crazy Mo sticks his candy cane up to stop the Grinch.
Hey, stranger, I won't let you go until you buy a chapeau.
The Grinch lifts up his mask as he turns to Crazy Mo's and lets out a huge belch as a cloud as green as he is. Crazy Mo's collapses onto his face. The Grinch laughs and he walks away. On the other side of the street is Lou Who carrying boxes and bags with Cindy Lou Who trailing behind.
Boy, nothing beats Christmas, right?
Yes.
You guess?
It's just, look around at you and Mom and everyone else getting all kerbuckled. Doesn't that seem superfluous?
Dad!
Cindy and Lou turn to see 4 frozen snow Who zombies. The zombies shake off the snow, revealing that it's Stu and Drew and the girls.
Dad!
What happened to you?
It was the Grinch!
Oh, don't say it.
Preach! Cars slam on their brakes, pedestrians freeze, the sand in the timekeeper's hourglass freezes. A crowd of alarmed Who's gather around and whisper worryingly. The smallest horn player jumps out of the tuba and runs away.
Grinch! What do you want? Grinch! Oh no!
Grinch slinks into a corner to remain hidden. Max follows closely behind. In all the worry whispers across from the town square, Mayor Augustus Mayhew and his assistant Hubris enter.
Did someone just say Grinch?
Another tiny horn player runs out of the keyboard.
I did. We said it.
Oh, hello, Mayor Mayhew, sir.
Lou, I don't need to remind you that this Christmas marks the 1000th Who-bilation.
Whoville's most important celebration.
And the Book of Who says very clearly...
Hubris slaps a leather-bound book into Mayhew's hand.
Every size of Who we can measure knows that Who-bilation is a time we must treasure. Now, please tell me that your boys were not up on Mount Crumpet provoking the one creature within 1 billion kilometers of here who hates Christmas.
The Who crowd reacts nervously.
But it was the Grinch!
Lou rushes to his sons and covers their mouths.
No, sir. The boys didn't see any Grinch.
He came right after us!
I think they were just up on the mountain playing with matches or defacing public property.
The boys move around. Lou squirms to keep their mouths covered.
Oh, well, that's a relief!
The mayor turns to announce to the rest of the town.
All right, you heard the man. There's no Grinch problem here. And to celebrate, I hereby decree all stores will be open an extra hour today.
But they're already open 24 hours a day.
Fine. Then I decree from now on the days will be 25 hours long.
Yay!
Crazy.
Timekeeper Who up on the clock sits in agony. Now this job stinks 25/7. The Grinch from across the town square shoots a wad of wet paper out of a straw, hitting Mayor Mayhew right in the face.
Ow!
Mayor shoots Lou's a look and heads off. Hubris gives a lamer version of Mayor's look and follows. Lou sighs with relief.
Dad, who's the Grinch?
Cindy, we should talk about this later. I gotta go to work, and you've got to get to school.
He really doesn't like Christmas?
School. Go to school.
Lou spins her on her way. She sighs and heads off. Later that afternoon, at the Whoville school, behind impossibly thick glasses are the eyes of Miss Ruhu, a skittish school teacher. She holds a long, wavy ruler.
All right, class. I'd like to hear what subjects you've chosen for your holiday class projects.
Cindy Lou looks out of the classroom window at Mount Crumpet as her friend Sophie stands and addresses the class.
The holiday class project I've chosen is The Origins of the Santa Claus.
A Who boy stands.
My topic is searching for presents. How I locked myself in the attic for 3 days. A survivor's tale.
Miss Ruhu turns her owlish gaze on Cindy Lou.
Propose to resolve a question no one in Whoville seems willing to answer.
Why do crayons look so good but taste so bad?
No. Who is the Grinch and why doesn't he like Christmas?
Miss Ruhu drops her ruler and simultaneously all the window shades snap up as every kid in class turns to look at Cindy Lou with jaw-dropping astonishment.
Cindy Lou Who? We do not discuss that sort of thing at school.
What? All I said was the Grinch.
Cindy Lou sits down, lowers her head. Later that day, Cindy Lou is at her desk, her head still down when Lou Who enters.
Miss Ruhu, I heard you were keeping my daughter after school, and I...
Sit down, Lou.
Yes, Miss Rue.
Lou stuffs himself into a tiny desk as if wearing it.
Mr. Lou Who, your daughter, she said, oh my.
All I said was I want to do my Christmas report on the Grinch.
Shades snap up again, startling Lou, who almost falls over in his desk. He tries to stand, but the desk is stuck to his rear end. Undaunted, he hobbles to the teacher's desk.
Look, Miss Rue, who I'm sure we can straighten this whole thing out. Remember what a goof off I was in school? Now look at me. I'm the postman of Whoville.
By the way, did you ever find my package?
No, I didn't. All right then. Goodbye, Miss Rue. Cindy, come help your old man down at the post office. Bye-bye.
Lou turns but accidentally sweeps everything off her big desk with his little desk. He grabs Cindy Lou and hustles out the door. He trips
Merry
on
Christmas!
the way out. Crash! Post office later. Lou and Cindy are behind the counter. Lou works quickly and diligently with a Christmassy grin.
I need this there tomorrow.
But I need this there today.
I need this there yesterday.
Oh.
All right then. We'll send them all to Whovier.
But Dad, I don't understand something. Why won't anyone talk about the Grinch?
Lou zooms by on a ladder.
You kids in the Grinch. You see, Cindy, the Grinch is a who, is actually not a who. He's more of
He zooms back.
A what?
Exactly, honey. He's a what who doesn't like Christmas. I mean, look at this. Look at his mailbox.
Lou points at a mail slot laced with cobwebs.
Not a single Christmas card in or out. Ever.
But why?
Postmaster Lou-hoo!
Mayor Mayhew and Hubris at the counter.
Oh. Be right there!
He zooms off to the counter.
We've got a bit of a problem with my mail. These letters are addressed to almost everyone in this town except me.
He hands a stack of letters to Lou.
The Book of Who is very clear about this subject, Lou. Since Christmas cards are sent by mail, the postal service must never fail. I certainly hope you find every letter.
The mayor heads out.
And if you'd like to keep your job, you better.
Yes, sir.
Merry Christmas!
But I sorted everything myself. Sure is strange.
On the other side of the wall, in the back mail room, is the Grinch switching letters in the wrong boxes and shuffling mail like a card shark. He laughs at the mischief he's causing.
I'll take them. It'll take them years to sort this out. This is his, and now it's yours. And this is hers, and now it's his. And, for the rest of you.
The Grinch picks up a satchel of envelopes and begins to toss them randomly into the mail slots.
Jury duty, jury duty, jury duty, blackmail, pink slip, chain letter, eviction notice, jury duty.
The Grinch fires the remaining envelopes into the slots at lightning speed, cackling with delight. Lou is overwhelmed by mail.
Boys, I need your help. Sort this.
Stu and Drew approach. Lou hands them a large stack of mail.
Drew will do it.
They hand all the mail to Cindy Lou.
All done, Dad!
Would you mind helping me and take that to the back room, honey? But be careful of the sorting machine, right?
Yeah.
She nods with some reluctance and heads to the back room. Cindy opens the door. A loud alarm rings out as packages come through on an assembly line and fall into the sorting machine funnel that goes into the basement. Cindy looks around, unsure of where to put the envelopes. A goofy-looking Who mask falls onto the floor. Cindy picks it up, shrugs, and begins to walk away. The Grinch and Max are up against the far corner ceiling of the room, hiding. Max sneezes.
Gesundheit.
Cindy turns around and sees the Grinch and Max. She screams. The Grinch screams. Cindy screams back. The Grinch screams back. He swoops down off the ceiling. He snarls at Cindy, his face inches from hers.
You're the
Grinch!
Cindy screams and tumbles backwards into the sorting machine funnel, her feet dangling over the conveyor belt that reads Fragile Stamper.
Well, that worked out nicely.
Help me, somebody!
The Grinch coldly ignores Cindy's cries. He turns to leave.
Max, let's go. Our work here is finished.
Chomp! Max bites the Grinch right on the bum and doesn't let go.
That's not a true toy.
The Grinch spins 360, trying to get Max to let go of his rear end.
Stop it, Max. Get that out of your mouth. You have no idea where it's been.
The sorting machine lets out a large whistle of steam as it gets clogged with Cindy.
Ah, bleeding hearts of the world unite.
The Grinch kneels in front of the sorting machine funnel and grabs Cindy by the foot and pulls her out of the machine with little effort. He sets her down, grossed out by her cuteness.
Ah, there. Give me that.
He snatches the Goofy Who mask away from her.
Don't you know you're not supposed to take things that don't belong to you? What's the matter with you? You some kind of wild animal? Huh?
Uh-huh.
Let's go.
The Grinch turns to leave. Just as he gets to the door,
Thanks for saving me.
the Grinch stops dead in his tracks, revolted by what he just heard. He turns.
Saving you? Is that what you think I was doing?
Uh-huh.
Wrong-o!
The Grinch grabs a reel of paper and walks gingerly towards Cindy.
I merely noticed that you're improperly packaged, my dear.
The Grinch starts to wrap Cindy up in tons of paper.
Hold still. Max, pick out a bow. Can I use your finger for a second?
The Grinch snaps his Goofy Who mask back onto his face and leaves. Lou comes walking around the corner into the back room.
Hello? Hello?
Cindy?
Dad? Daddy?
What the hey, honey, Cindy?
A package in the corner shakes and two little arms poke out the sides. They reach up and unwrap the ribbon and Cindy Lou's head pops out.
Dad, it was amazing.
You've been practicing your Christmas wrapping. Honey, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, no.
Now that's a holiday.
Sweet little Cindy didn't know what to do. In her head betumbled a conflict or two. If the Grinch was so bad, then why did he save me? Maybe he wasn't so bad. Maybe. Just maybe.
Lou-Hoo's house night. Cindy and Lou approach the house carrying armloads of packages.
No lights on in the house. Your mom must be shopping.
Up here, honey.
The lights on the Who-Lou home come on as Betty Lou Who peeks out on the roof.
Oh, good. I'm so glad you're home. Oh, I can feel it, Lou. This is the year when everybody asks who has the most spectacular lights in all of Greater Whoville. They're going to cry out, Mrs. Betty Lou Who.
Betty madly staples more lights to the roof.
Hand me those lights, Lou.
Lou picks up a light fixture, hands it up.
Isn't this the chandelier from the dining room?
It's all for the cause, dear.
Oh.
Oh, and Cindy, could you be Mommy's little helper and unscrew the bulb there from the refrigerator? Somehow I missed that one.
Go on.
Lou puts his huge stack of packages on top of the packages Cindy already has. She heads into the house. Betty reaches for a string of lights. Her ladder goes over backwards up to about 45 degrees. Lou grabs at the last second, gets tangled in the string of lights. Betty begins tugging on the spools, stapling it down, strangling Lou with each tug.
Every year, Martha May Whovier has the best lights. Well, not this year. This year, I'm going to beat that prim, perfect little prissy...
Betty turns to see Martha May Whovier standing on the front porch of her well-decorated little home across the street.
Hi!
Martha!
My, I've never seen so many beautiful Christmas lights, Betty Lou.
Well, I'd blow every fuse if I tried to keep up with you, Martha May. You color-coordinated crag.
Martha takes out a small antique box, removes some tiny lights.
Oh, isn't this antique darling? It's handcrafted and almost 100 years old.
Oh, please, I'm really impressed.
This, however, is new.
Martha pulls the covers off a state-of-the-art Christmas-like Gatling gun. She cocks the gun and begins to fire a string of lights across her house. Bang, 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 bang. Martha blows smoke from the barrel of the gun, smiles at Betty.
Well, good night, Betty. Good luck in the contest. And by the way, you're strangling your husband.
Betty notices Lou tangled in the lights.
Lou, are you okay? Speak to me.
You're not wearing underwear.
Betty gives a look. Oops. The Lou home later. Inside the Lou home, the phone nearly shakes off the side table ringing. Lou and Betty dart for the phone and both grab it simultaneously.
I got it.
Honey, I've got it. Hello? Is my Sub-Zero Chillberator running? I suppose.
Well, then you better go catch it.
The Grinch slams the payphone back on the receiver and laughs as he's beyond amused with his antics.
That's a good one. That is rich.
He looks to Max, who appears unamused and clearly over it.
Let's go home.
The Grinch lifts the lid to the dump it to crumpet chest chutes. Max starts to jump in.
Please, before beauty. Thank you. Come on, hurry up, Slowpoke.
Max jumps into the chute. The Grinch hits the eject button, and away they get sucked into the tube with a whine and a whoosh up to Mount Crumpet. Max is clearly enjoying the ride as the Grinch is about to hurl. In the landfill later, the Grinch and Max come shooting out of the tunnel and land in a massive pile of trash. Thunk, thunk. Max shakes himself off all the debris.
You know, a car would have paid for itself by now.
The dump it to crumpet tunnel lurches.
Oh, goody. Another load is coming now. Whee!
A dozen huge red bags come shooting out of the dump tunnel. They read hazardous waste.
What is that stench? It's fantastic. Max, grab a bag. We'll come back for the rest. Of course, when I say we, I mean you. It's amazing what these Who's just throw out.
The Grinch and Max, each carrying a couple bags, make their way up to the front door.
Oh well, one man's toxic sludge is another man's poopery.
Max lets out a questioning bark that sounds like, what's that?
I don't know. Some kind of soup.
To your Cindy Lou's bedroom. Cindy in her pajamas with a flashlight looking out a small pink stocking. She walks around to her room.
Where are you, Christmas? Why can't I find you? Why have you gone away? My world is changing. I'm rearranging. Does that mean Christmas changes too? Where are you, Christmas? Do you remember the girl you used to know? You and I were so carefree. Now nothing's easy. Did Christmas change or just me?
Cindy looks outside her window. Mount Crumpet is in the distance. The Grinch's cave. The Grinch and Max scurry inside. The Grinch pulls the light switch rather gloomingly. He lets out a sigh. The Grinch then plants the pile of garbage onto a catapult. He pulls the lever that sends the bag of toxic sludge across the cabin room, hitting a giant poster of Mayor Augustus Mayhew right on the nose.
Oh, sweet. And I should get pictures of little girls that sing off in the distance. I'll hit them too.
The Grinch hangs his brown cloak on a pair of antlers, licks his pawns, and combs his hair back.
Be it ever so heinous, there's no place like home.
The cavern comes to life as garbage is sorted through like a factory. The Grinch comes down on a gearwork elevator.
First floor, factory rejects. Those Who's are hard to frazzle, Max, but we did our worst, and that's all that matters. At least I scared the bejeebies out of that little girl at the post office. Good thing she didn't sing at me. She'll be scarred for life if we're lucky.
The Grinch makes his way behind a cardboard room divider where he changes into his evening wear, the green sheer lace short robe. He then play acts as he's becoming possessed, bending over in pain, and he loses control of his body. He lurches to the end of the divider and goes back to normal, as if nothing happened.
What? Nothing happened. You didn't see anything. Funny she didn't rat us out on us, though. Must be afraid of reprisals.
A switch flips on, a low humming of an x-ray machine comes to life. The Grinch pulls the viewer to his chest. Behind his ribs is a small beating heart, smaller than the size of a child's fist.
Yes! Down a size and a half! And this time, I'll keep it off.
The Grinch pushes the viewer away. He runs to his bed and leaps onto it.
Any calls?
He flicks the answering machine awake. You have no messages?
Odd. Better check the outgoing.
He flips a button and hears the playback voicemail message.
If you utter so much as one syllable, I'll hunt you down and cut you like a fish. If you'd like to leave a fax me, press the start key.
Beep.
Oh well.
The Grinch leaps off his bed, grabs the handle to a zip line and lands him right on his sofa. He pulls off his socks, humming to himself. Then, with a clang, he breaks an old wine bottle in his mouth, chewing on the glass. He gags on the broken glass.
Excellent, yeah. I tell you, Max, I don't know why I ever leave this place. I got all the company I need right here. Hello!
Hello!
How are you?
How are you?
I asked you first.
I asked you first.
Oh, that's really mature, saying exactly what I say.
Oh, that's really mature, saying exactly what I say.
I'm an idiot.
You're an idiot.
All right, fine. I'm not talking to you anymore. In fact, I'm going to whisper, so that by the time my voice reverberates off the walls and gets back to me, I won't be able to hear it.
You're an idiot. The Grinch shatters another wine bottle. He goggles down all the broken glass.
Am I just eating because I'm bored?
The Grinch curls up into the fetal position on his sofa. Exterior, old Biddy's house. The next morning, the doorbell rings. Carnella, who Biddy, answers the door.
Oh, who could that be?
Cindy Lou Who is at the door with a newspaper article.
Oh, hello, little girl. Are you here to read to us?
No, I hear you know some things about the Grinch.
Carnella looks around nervously, pulls her inside.
There we go. Ha 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 ha. Cindy Lou had some questions in her curious heart. Why did the Grinch hate Christmas? Where did it all start? With her dad's blabberquarter, she wouldn't give an inch.
Carnella and Rose's living room. Cindy holds up a microphone as she begins her interview. Carnella is watching Cindy intently as Rose knits a scarf.
In your words, please tell me everything you know about the Grinch. Where did he come from?
Oh, well, he came the way all babies came.
Flashback, night.
On calm nights, baby Who girls and tiny Who fellas drift from the sky in their own plumber cellars.
Tiny strip parachute umbrellas carrying little baskets with babies drift lazily into the skyline of Whoville. One lands on a Who doorstep.
Hey, honey, our baby's here. He looks like your boss.
Old Biddy's house, living room, present.
Oh, so that's how it works.
Mm-hmm. It was Christmas Eve and a strange wind blew that night.
Sky, flashback. The wind howls, a cross between a coyote and a baby cry, which sends the last Pumbersella basket swinging wildly like a carnival ride, off course into a tree next to the Biddy's house. A furry little face peeks out of the basket, the baby Grinch. He looks out and starts to cry.
We were having our annual holiday get-together.
The Biddies' holiday party is in full swing. Rowdy Who's down nog and chase each other around a table. Who couples toss keys into a bowl. Music and yelling drown out the little Grinch cries.
It was morning before anybody realized he was out there. The poor dear.
Two hungover Who males stagger out, switch jackets, stumble off past the baby Grinch.
We knew right away that he was special.
Interior, Biddy's house, flashback later. The baby Grinch sits in a booster chair. The Biddies feed him a Santa Claus-shaped tray of cookies.
Santa?
Oh, his first word. Yes, that is Santa.
Baby Grinch takes a bite out of the tray and rips the head of Santa right off.
Santa go. Bye-bye.
Baby Grinch lets out a massive burp. Interior, Miss Roo-Hoo's classroom, flashback. A classroom of attentive Who kids sits and follow Miss Roo-Hoo's lesson. We see a little 8-year-old Grinch boy dressed in a school uniform. He is not listening to the lesson. Instead, he stares mooningly at young Martha May Whovier, sitting at the head of the class. Her binder matches her pencils, which matches her dress. Seated next to her is a young Augustus Mayhew holding the Book of Who. The young Grinch boy grumbles as he watches him to give her a candy cane. She accepts it gladly. Young Mayhew feels the Grinch stare, looks back at him, and raises his hand.
Teacher, the new kid is shedding.
The little Who-bris laughs, then all the students follow. The Grinch tries to shrink under his desk.
He just wanted to fit in, but he never really knew how.
The Biddies' closet flashback later. The little Grinch sits holding a band mirror. We see an empty bottle of Nair. It doesn't work. Discouraged, he throws the bottle and grabs the electric razor. He starts to shave. The next day, the class is listening to Miss Roo-Hoo give her lesson. In the back of the class sits the Grinch wearing a paper bag over his head with eye holes.
Why do you have a bag on your head?
The Grinch gives a who-me expression.
Take it off, please.
The Grinch takes the bag off, but quickly puts a book up to cover his face.
And put the book down.
The book goes down, but he covers his face with his foot.
And your foot.
He slowly puts his foot down. The students take a step back, horrified. The Grinch has shaved his face in an effort to look like a regular Who. Unfortunately, he's done a hack job on himself. His face is a patchwork of razor burns and toilet paper squares. Everyone in the class starts laughing. The Grinch puts the bag back on his head. Biddy's house present. Cindy Lou is wide-eyed.
He never came home that night.
Exterior, Mount Crumpet that night. Flashback. The young Grinch climbs his way up Mount Crumpet full of rage.
I hate Christmas!
The young Grinch finally arrives at the top of Mount Crumpet. The young Grinch turns into an older, present-day Grinch, hands on his hip, glaring at the town of Whoville below.
So, whatever the reason, his heart or his shoes, he stood outside his cave, hating the Whos.
The Grinch pulls out a Who phone book to a random page. He places his finger on a name.
Aardvark Abercanazer Who? I hate you! Aaron B. Benson Who? I hate you.
The Grinch moves down the list of Who's in the phone book.
Hate, hate, hate. Hate, hate, hate. Ooh. Double hate. Loathe entirely.
Bells chime from Whoville in the distance. The Grinch slams the book shut.
Nutcrackers. It's their Who-bilation.
He snarled with a sneer.
Tomorrow is Christmas. It's practically here.
He tosses the phone book aside and runs indoors.
Max, fetch me my sedative.
Whoville Town Square, the Who-bilation is in full swing. Everyone is in festive Christmas attire, singing and dancing everywhere. Cindy Lou and Lou walk through the street on their way to the mayor's office.
Dad,
Yeah?
I've been thinking about the Who-bilation. I may do something drastic.
Uh-huh, that's fine, dear. Ask your mother.
Where did she go?
Honey!
Huh?
Sorry, I just found the cutest light for my Christmas display.
Betty pulls out a traffic light. A screech and a crash is heard behind them.
Come on, hurry up, we're gonna be late.
The Who's rush into the thick of the Who-bilation. In the center of the town square is a podium with microphones. Martha May Whovier, in a gorgeous, festive Christmas gown, approaches the side of the podium. Enter Augustus Mayhew on the steps of the podium wearing a plaid sash fashioned with moss and holly and Christmas red pooties. He holds a hand for quiet to the sea of who's before him.
And now, the nominations for that Who Among Us who best typifies the qualities of whodom and whoodery. The Whoville Holiday Cheermeister!
May Who runs a hand through his hair.
Do I hear a nominate?
Before he can even finish his sentence, a small voice can be heard through the crowd.
Nominate the Grinch.
The crowd gasps. They turn to the source of this anarchy. It's Cindy Lou Who. Mayor Mayhew looks down at her, smile coming off his face. He looks down at Lou and Betty. Lou raises an eyebrow.
My, what an altruistic daughter you have there, Lou.
Thank you.
Cindy, let me quote a verse from our book of Who. The term Grinchy will apply when Christmas spirit is in short supply. Now I ask you, does that sound like our holiday cheermeister?
True, Mr. Mayhew, but the Book of Who says this too. No matter how different a Who may appear, he'll always be welcomed with holiday cheer.
Crowd looks to Cindy. The kids got a good point. They all turn back to Mayhew.
Well, yes, but the book also says the award cannot go to the Grinch because sometimes things get lead pipe cinch.
You made that up. It doesn't say that.
No. Yes, it does.
What page?
Oh my! I lost my page, but it's in there.
But the book does say the cheermeister is the one who deserves a backslap or a toast, and it goes to the soul at Christmas who needs it the most.
Cindy Lou turns starry-eyed to the crowd.
And I believe that soul is the Grinch. And if you're the Who's I hope you are, you will too.
There are sniffles, then applause. Suddenly all the Who's begin chanting Grinch, Grinch, Grinch. The mayor quiets them.
Fine. You people want to waste a perfectly good nomination? Why, it's up to you, but I am telling you, the Grinch will never come down.
And when he doesn't, the mayor will wear the crown.
Well, more or less.
The band strikes up. Mayhew picks up Cindy Lou. Hubris gestures to a photographer who takes a picture. Hubris jumps into the photo, strikes some pose. Cindy looks to Mount Crumpet. The sound of singing is heard all the way up to Mount Crumpet. Deck your hearts with jollity, style your smile all Christmassy, flick some clocking on the tree, let there be Who-bilation. In the Grinch's cave, the Grinch is soundly sleeping in his bed. Bake the fruitcake, egg the nog, feed the flaming Yuletide log, baste the beast and gulp the grog, let there be Who-bilation. The Grinch joins in. Tick tock, tick tock.
Counting down the Christmas clock. Old, young, big, small.
The Grinch puts a pillow over his ears.
Blast this Christmas music. It's joyful and triumphant.
The Grinch takes piles of nuts, bolts, and screws and throws them into a line of blenders. The noise of metal clanging on metal helps drown the Christmas cheer in the cave. The music can still be heard. The Grinch becomes desperate to end the holiday misery.
Oh, not working.
In the exterior of Mount Crumpet, small feet trudge up the hill. Cindy Lou Who takes a look back towards Whoville, looks back at the summit, keeps going. The whippoorwinds whipped high above the Who town. A trip or a slip, you'd slide all the way down. But this girl had a mission. She knew what to do. She'd invite the Grinch herself, that brave Cindy Lou. Interior, the Grinch's cave. The Grinch slides a giant wind-up cymbal monkey toy. The clangs make the music drown out just a little bit more.
Play, monkey! Play! Play!
The Grinch hops onto a jackhammer and begins drilling the floor. He bounces around the room uncontrollably. The noise is even louder than before. Exterior Mount Crumpet, at the front door, Cindy Lou Who knocks on the door. No response. She knocks harder. The jackhammer crashes with a clang and a bang.
Oh! Ouchie!
Cindy knocks harder and the door swings open. The noise gets even louder.
Mr. Grinch! Hello?
Cindy Lou makes her way into the cave to see the Grinch with his head now between the giant crashing cymbals of the wind-up monkey toy. Every crash lets out a sound of painful joy. Cindy Lou makes her way further into the cave, right up to the Grinch. He doesn't notice her. He taps him on the shoulder.
Excuse me?
The Grinch grabs the cymbals and holds them shut. The giant monkey toy sparks as the motor bangs and fizzes until there's absolute silence. He turns to see Cindy Lou in absolute disbelief at the sight of someone in his home.
Hello, little girl. How dare you enter the Grinch's lair? The impudence, the audacity, the unmitigated gall! You called down the thunder. Now get ready for the boom! Gaze into the face of fear.
Mr. Grinch, my name is Cindy Lou Who.
You see, even now, the terror is welling up inside you.
The Grinch starts to circle Cindy Lou, sizing her up.
I'm not scared.
Denial is to be expected in the presence of pure evil.
I don't think so.
Doubt! Another unmistakable sign of the heebie-jeebies. Now you're doomed!
Grinch jumps into a shirt and lets out a howl. He begins to tear the shirt apart. He snarls and roars.
Run for your lives before I kill again! I'm a psycho.
He howls and roars. It doesn't work. He jumps around like a loony, making weird faces at Cindy Lou to try to get her to break. She giggles. After all his tricks are expended, he gives up, panting of exhaustion.
Maybe you need a timeout.
The Grinch turns to the camera.
Kids today. So is he desensitized by TikTok? That Spider-Man video game that someone claims to have made all by themselves. Whatever Game of Thrones ended with. What do you want?
Mr. Grinch, to be the holiday cheermeister.
Cindy pulls out an invitation and hands it to the Grinch.
Holiday Who-Be Wedding?
Cheermeister.
Huh.
The Grinch peers down at the invitation.
Cheermeister. Celebrate with friends. That's
the
a
Grinch
good one.
starts to walk away. Cindy Lou follows after him.
I know you hate Christmas, but what if it's all just a misunderstanding?
Don't care.
I, myself, am having Yuletide doubts. But maybe if you can reunite with the Who's and be part of Christmas,
Maybe if you can reunite with the Hooch and be part of Christmas. Oh, grow up.
then maybe it'll be all right for me too.
I'm sorry, your session is over. Please make another appointment with the receptionist on your way out.
Please, you have to accept the award.
The Grinch stops. She now has his attention.
award. You never mentioned an award.
Yeah, with the trophy and everything.
And I won?
You won!
That means there were losers.
I guess. So if you could come
A
down...
town full of losers. Was anyone emotionally shattered? Come on, a minute ago I can shut you up. Details!
Well, the mayor wasn't happy.
Oh, no.
Martha May will be there.
Oh, she will.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll see me, a winner. She'll be on me like Fliegel flies on a flat-faced flugel horse. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Martha Baby, but the G train has left the station.
So will you come?
I'm all right.
The Grinch puts his arm around Cindy Lou and walks her to the door.
I don't know if it's that adorable twinkle in your eye or the nonconformist streak that reminds me of a younger, less hairy me, but you've convinced me. Who knows? This Who-bilation could change my entire outlook on life.
Really?
No.
As he says that, he pulls on a rope. The floor beneath Cindy Lou collapses as she falls into the Dump It to Crumpet tunnel back to Whoville. She comes flying out, landing on a pile of snow back in Whoville. Lulu Who comes bumbling around the street corner with a tub of eggnog in his arm. He spots Cindy Lou.
There you are, honey. You can make snow angels later. Come on.
Lou grabs her hand.
We can't be late for the Who-bilation.
Cindy Lou looks back at the summit of Mount Crumpet as Lou hauls her towards the festivities. Back at the Grinch Layers, he zips down the zip line and onto the sofa, screaming.
The nerve of those Who's inviting me down there on such short notice. Even if I wanted to go, my schedule wouldn't allow it. 4 o'clock, wallow in self-pity. 4:30, stare into the abyss. 5 o'clock, solve world hunger. Tell no one. 5:30, jazzercise. 6:30, dinner with me. Oh, I can't cancel that again. 7 o'clock, wrestle with my self-loathing. I booked. Of course, I bumped the loathing till 9. I could still be done in time to lay in the bed, stare at the ceiling, and slip slowly into madness. But what would I wear?
Beat. The Grinch pulls a sheet from under a pile of plates and cuts perfectly without disturbing the pile. He walks away. He then runs back and knocks the pile of plates and cups over. He knocks the table over too and walks away again. Moments later, the Grinch walks onto the runway with a flower print skirt. Max barks in disapproval.
It's not a dress, it's a kilt. Sicko.
Clothes go flying across the room as the Grinch searches for something to wear.
Stupid. Ugly. Ugh, out of date. This is ridiculous. If I can't find something nice to wear, I'm not going.
On the exterior, a yodeler wearing lederhosen and a feather hat stands with his Ricola horn, yodels like crazy. A large hook reaches out and grabs him. The Grinch adjusts his new lederhosen and hat. He models down the runway, striking a pose.
Ooh. That's it. I'm not going.
In the town square on the dais, May Who speaks into the microphone in front of the eager Who's.
Well, it's time to present the Holiday Cheermeister of the Year award. Congratulations to Mr. Grinch.
He gestures to an empty space next to him.
Oh, he isn't here? He didn't show? Who could have predicted this?
In the cave at the same time, the Grinch now wears his going out clothes.
All right. I'll swing by for a minute, allow them to envy me, grab a handful of popcorn shrimp, and blow out of there. But what if it's a cruel prank? What if it's a cash bar? How dare they? Oh. All right, I'll go. But I'll be fashionably late. No. Yes. No. Yes. No. Yes. Oh, definitely not. All right, I've made my decision. I'm going, and that's that. Oh, I had my fingers crossed. Whoa!
Fed up with the Grinch arguing with himself, Max bites on the rope, sending the Grinch down the trap door through the trash chute tunnel to the center of Whoville, back in the Who-bilation town square.
Well, I guess the award goes to the runner-up.
That's right. A man for whom Christmas comes not once a year, but every minute of every day. A handsome, noble man. A man who had his tonsils removed twice.
Martha May rolls her eyes from hearing this story for the upteenth time.
That is an interesting story. You see, what happened was...
The trash chute rumbles. The Grinch blasts out of the dumpster, flying through the air. Lands on a trampoline, then slingshots back through the crowd and falls directly face first onto Martha May's chest.
Oh, Martha.
He made it!
Everyone is stunned. The Grinch gets up off of Martha May, who's blushing all over. He stands and sees Mayhew. He gives a cold glare. He slinks to the center of the stage in front of the podium. He regards the Who crowd. The crowd has gone completely silent. There's a very awkward pause. What's he going to do?
Boo.
The Who crowd lets out a gasp.
Oh, hot crowd, hot crowd. I believe I'm here to accept an award of some kind, and the child mentioned a check.
No, I didn't.
All right, then give me the award. Come on, while I'm young.
Mayor Mayhew takes the microphone and approaches the Grinch cautiously.
Don't you worry, Mr. Holiday Cheermeister, you'll get your award. But first, a little family reunion. They nursed you. They clothed you. Here they are, your old biddies.
Clarnella and Rose shuffle their way to the podium, gleeful to see their little Grinchy poo all grown up.
Are you two still living and you haven't shaved after all these years?
He squirms as they hug him.
My, haven't you turned out to be a handsome, odd-looking, whatever you are?
God, it's so scraggly.
Oh, we missed you, baby.
Rose mistakenly hugs a Who's standing next to the Grinch.
Oh.
Rose, the sweater, Rose!
Suddenly, the biddies wrestle a sweater onto the Grinch. When they finally step back, the Grinch is revealed in an ugly knitted sweater with small Christmas lights blinking on it. The Grinch looks down at his new attire.
Ah, that was fast. Ah!
A small crowd carrying a throne covered in Christmas decorations makes their way to the podium.
Put him in the chair of cheer!
The crowd begins to erupt with chanting of chair of cheer, chair of cheer,
chair of cheer, chair of cheer.
Oh, God.
Cheer!
The chair of cheer. By the chance, that doesn't sound that appetizing. What's the chair of cheer? You didn't tell me about the chair of cheer.
Please, Mr. Grinch, please.
No, I can't do it. Honestly, I'm not ready. It's too much, too soon.
He's forced into the chair and carried off into the crowd. Mayhew acts as an MC, hosting the Who-bilation events for its new Cheermeister.
Yes, it's that time of year. The Cheermeisters ride in the chair of cheer.
Well, put me down. I mean it. I'll get a lawyer. There'll be hell to pay.
The events begin.
Now, Holiday Cheermeister, you'll put your taste buds to the test as you judge the Who Pudding Cook-Off.
One Who after another comes at him with huge spoons of jiggling, oddly colored pudding. He gulps them down.
Oh.
Glit!
Oh, God, it stings.
Butterscotch!
Why?
Scientist Who in a white lab coat approaches. Gulp.
This is not pudding.
The Grinch chokes it down. Mayhew announces the next event.
It's time for Fudge Judge!
A long line of Who's gang up on the Grinch. He's fed fudge bars from a dozen hands at the same time. The Grinch looks greener than normal. He could vomit at any moment.
Christmas Conga!
The conga line forms behind the Grinch. The iconic bum 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 is heard.
Oh, gee, look at the time. I really got to be getting back.
The line edges him forward.
Oh, all right.
Martha May's head bobs to the beat of the conga line. Mayhew announces the next event.
Fruitcake fa-la-la!
Who's lined up and forced excuse me, and force food into the mouth of the Grinch. He struggles to hold it all down.
Oh, even the stage direction doesn't like fruitcake. No mas, no mas.
No, nobody likes fruitcake. He shakes his head in discomfort. A Who hand pinches his nose tight, forcing his mouth to open. Hands come from every direction, forcing more dessert into his mouth. The Grinch and a bunch of Who children are in a Santa sack race. Chariots of Fire can be heard playing as the Grinch knocks over kids to his left and his right. Bum, 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 bum.
Out of the way, slow-mo. Beep, beep.
He leaps forward and breaks the crossing line ribbon. He gets first place. Cheers ring through the crowd. Even Martha May lets out a cheer. She quickly subdues herself with excitement. A medal is wrapped around the Grinch's neck as a group of Who's hoist him above their heads in victory.
He's number one in the sack race.
I'm number one. Hey, I'm number one.
Mayor Mayhew looks in disgust. The Grinch spots a Who child he knocked over during the race.
Oh, I beat you.
He blows a kiss to the crowd as the holiday cheermeister is brought back to the podium where Mayor Mayhew and Hubris wait for him.
And now it's time for the moment we've all been waiting for.
Ah, yes, my award and my check.
There's no check.
Are you sure? I really thought I heard someone mention a check. They've been negotiating. Okay, fine.
There's still no check. Now it's time for present. Pass it on.
The crowd cheers. Every Who takes out a present and passes it to their neighbor.
As always, we start with our cheermeister.
Hubris pulls out a present, holding it in front of the Grinch for all to see. The Grinch yelps with glee. He flings off the top of the box and dumps the gift into his hand. An electric razor. The Grinch is speechless.
Ah, the gift of a Christmas shave.
The Grinch grips the razor tightly as he remembers that day, so long ago when he was laughed at all by all the Who children in the class so many Christmases ago. Mayor Mayhew wraps his arm around the Grinch. He playful hits him on the shoulder.
Ah, yes, good times, good times.
Mayor Mayhew then pulls out a second present, this one much smaller. He gets onto one knee next to Martha May Whovier. He says,
Martha May, please become Mrs. Augustus Mayhew.
The box opens to reveal a large triple-stacked diamond ring as big as Martha's hand.
Oh.
Martha May and the Grinch gasp. They looked at one another. The Grinch face twitches. His breathing is labored. Something is building up inside of him.
Augustus?
Mayhew grabs a microphone.
But that's not all. If you agree to become Mrs. Mayhew, you'll receive a lifetime of happiness and it's a new car!
Hubris is doing his best Vanna White as he models a beautiful red car on a turning podium like it's a game show.
Generously provided by the taxpayers of Whoville. So, what do you say, Martha? You got 20 seconds on the clock.
The Who band plays a small chime counting down the clock. Every Who awaits her answer anxiously.
Well, these gifts are all so amazing.
Music continues with anticipation. A loud scraping of paint coming off metal comes from the other side of the car. There's a huge scratch left where the Grinch has left his mark. Everyone gasps.
Of course they are. That's what this is all about, isn't it? That's what it's always been about. Gifts. Gifts. You want to know what happens to your gifts? They all come to me. In your garbage. In your garbage! You see what I'm saying? I could hang myself with all the bad Christmas neckties I found at the dump. And the avarice never ends! I want golf clubs, I want diamonds, I want a pony so I can ride it twice, then get bored and sell it to make glue! I want Star Wars to make sense! Meh! Look, I don't want to make waves here, but this whole Christmas season is... Stupid! Kind of like the Rise of Skywalker.
Shocked by what they hear from the cheermeister.
There is, however, one teeny, tiny Christmas tradition I find quite meaningful.
He walks gracefully up to Martha May, who is just as shocked as the rest of the crowd. The Grinch snatches a small piece of mistletoe from Martha May and holds it above his head.
Mistletoe. Now pucker up and kiss it, Whoville. Oh,
He
damn,
bends
green
over
screen.
with his rear facing the crowd. The mistletoe is waving just above. Martha May faints. The Grinch flicks the razor on, and in a blink, buzzes a reverse mohawk right through Mayor Mayhew's head. There's a collective gasp from the audience.
Uh-oh, somebody's fabulous!
The Grinch plants one on Mayor Mayhew's cheek. Some freshly cut hair gets caught in his lips. He spits it away. The Grinch leaps from the stage. He tears the Christmas sweater off.
No more Darth Vader shit!
The crowd runs for their lives. Christmas is ruined. The Grinch grabs the old-timer who flings his long beard back and reveals a secret whiskey bottle and a hidden bag made of more beard. The Grinch pulls the bottle out.
Excuse me, old-timer. Mind if I wet my whistle?
Well, Grinch pulls the cork out of the bottle with his mouth, spits it away. He takes 2 chugs and manages to drink the whole bottle. He tosses it aside. It breaks. Hey, that was my good stuff. The Grinch pulls out a large Zippo lighter. He spits fire towards the town square Christmas tree. Flames 20 feet long. The tree is ablaze. Whoosh!
Burn!
Everyone looks in horror as their town's Christmas tree becomes nothing but a cinder.
Burn, baby! Burn!
The charred tree disintegrates at the top. Floats in the air for a second, then crashes to the ground. The side of the star falling brings Mayhew out of his shock. He turns to Hubris.
Do something!
Right.
Suddenly, Hubris springs into action. He grabs the razor and shaves his own head down the center. Every citizen of Who runs for their lives. It's every Who for themselves that the Grinch runs through the streets of Whoville. He sees a car coming. He stands in its path, and it skids right to a stop.
Halt! Evening, folks. Mind if I tag along?
It's a tiny, like an AC car. The tiny Who family runs in terror.
Might want to scooch over.
He sits on the tiny car and fishtails off, driving fast. He comes over a hill and gets airborne, a la the Fast and the Furious.
Ferrari.
He skids into the fire hydrant, suddenly leaps out. The Grinch is sprawled across the snow. A fizzle is heard. He looks up to see a tiny car dripping with gasoline. A small fire sparks.
Ejecto-cedo, cuz. It's gonna blow!
He makes a run for it, dashing in slow motion like an action film. The tiny car ignites and explodes. The ball of fire is comically larger than it should be for a car of small stature. Cindy Lou looks about at the destruction at the town square as the Whoville citizens try to recuperate from their really grinchy incident. Mayor Mayhew stands on the town square tree, now in a pile of ash. He spots Lou Who.
Lou, I'm hurt. Lou, I'm hurt, and I don't hurt easily.
Mayhew singles out Cindy Lou. She knows this is all her fault.
But you and your family, I'm so very disappointed. Can we just get back to Christmas the way it should be? Grinchless.
He grabs the Who-bilation trophy from the pile of ash and walks off.
Merry Christmas!
Lou, Betty, Stu, and Drew approach Cindy Lou with a look of utter defeat on their faces.
Just wanted everyone to be together for Christmas.
Elsewhere, the Grinch sneaks his way to the Dump It to Crumpet trash chute. He's avoiding police sirens zooming by.
I quite enjoyed that. I hope we can get another invite soon.
He cackles and does a double take to see a brand new, fully decorated tree is being carried by a team of Who's to the town square.
Come on. It's a good thing we have a spare.
The Grinch snarls as he lifts the lid. The ash-covered Who on the clock scoreboard flips over. Only 4 hours till Christmas. Everybody in Whoville regains their Christmas spirit on a dime.
Suffering snorkelblats. They're relentless.
He hits the eject button and gets sucked away. Whoosh! Seconds later, he's blasted out the other end of the tunnel on the top of the Mount Crumpet Dump. He stomps his way to the ledge of the cave.
Yes, the Grinch knew tomorrow all the Who girls and boys would wake bright and early and run for their toys.
And then, oh, the noise. Oh, the noise. Noise, noise, noise!
Intercut of images of what the Grinch is describing.
They'll bang on their tongue tinglers. They'll blow their flu-flounders. They'll crash their jing-janglers and bounce on boing bounders.
Then the Who's young and old would sit down and feast. And they'll feast. And they'll feast.
And they'll feast, 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 feast. They'll eat their Who pudding and rare Who roast beast, which is something I can't stand in the least. Oh no. I'm speaking in rhyme!
The Grinch crawls to the edge of the cliff porch on his knees. He screams out to the Who ether.
Blast you, Who's!
He collapsed on the rock, sobbing.
And the more the Grinch what a Christmas could bring, the more the Grinch thought,
I must stop this whole thing.
He stands and paces.
Why, for year after year, I've put up with it now. I must stop this Christmas from coming. But how? I mean, in what way?
The Grinch enters his cave to the sound of delightful Christmas music, Max dancing away with a bow on his head. The Grinch mocks Max dancing. He stares in disbelief.
Are you having a jolly holly Christmas?
The door to the cave swings open and Max and his doghouse go blasting out into the snow.
Wrong-o!
The Grinch looks over the ledge to see a snow hole in the shape of his dog Max. He jumps from the ledge and pulls the pooch out. He looks Rim right in the face. Max has a snow-bearded snout.
Well, if you're not going to help me, then you might as well.
Then the Grinch got an idea. An awful idea.
The Grinch smiles with malevolent inspiration.
The Grinch got a wonderful, awful idea.
I know just what to do. Something that ends with 19. No, that's not right.
Red. Scissors slashed through as the Grinch cuts some red cloth. He feeds it through a Seussian sewing machine.
The Grinch laughed in his throat, and he made a quick Santa Claus hat and coat. And he chuckled and clucked. Ah, this great Grinchy trick.
With this coat and this hat, I'll look just like Saint Nick. Oh.
Sleigh building montage as the Grinch sings.
My turn. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are here. That's a wrestling term. You're as cuddly as a cactus. You're as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel. You're a monster, Mr. Grinch. Thank you, Jeff. Your heart an empty hole. Your brain is full of spiders, which I know people hate. You've got garlic in your soul, Mr. Grinch. I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole. What else? What else? Oh, you're a vile one, Mr. Grinch. You have termites in your smile. You have all the tender sweetness of a seasick crocodile, Mr. Grinch. Given the choice between you, the two of you, I'd take the seasick crocodile.
The rocket-propelled sleigh.
I don't want to sing it.
The rocket-propelled sleigh made of metal and debris is finished. The Grinch in his Santa Claus costume stands by the finished sleigh, checking his watch and peering through binoculars.
Oh, how convenient. I just got binocular. Fat Boy should be finished any time now.
The real Santa Claus and his reindeer take off into the night.
Perfect. All I need now is a reindeer.
The Grinch looked around, but since reindeer are scarce, there were none to be found.
Max tries to make a run for it, but he grabs him.
Did that stop the Grinch? The Grinch simply said,
If I can't find a reindeer, I'll make one instead. Ugh.
The Grinch breaks off the antler of a stuffed head on the wall. He busts off some of the extra branches and ties the lone horn on Max.
So he called his dog Max. Then he took some red thread and he tied a big horn on top of his head.
Viola, there's Max, the canine reindeer. His outfit fits Max with a little red nose on an elastic band.
All right, you're a reindeer. Here's your motivation. Your neighbor's Rudolph. You're a freak with a red nose and nobody likes you. Then one day, Santa picks you and you save Christmas. No, forget that part. We'll improvise. Just keep it kind of loosey-goosey. You hate Christmas. You're gonna steal it. Saving Christmas was allowed as the ending. Way too commercial. Action!
Max pops the red nose off his face.
Brilliant! You reject your own nose because it represents the glitter of commercialism. Why didn't I think of that? Cut, print, check the gate, moving on.
The Grinch jumps on his sleigh and revs up the engine. Max looks behind him, scared witless. A huge ball of fire ignites from the back of the sleigh. The Grinch is surprised with himself. He pushes a lever with the sleigh, and the sleigh rises above the ground. He laughs and he cheers.
This is nuts!
He stands.
On Crasher, on Thrasher, on Vomit and Blitzkrieg. Woo!
The sleigh rockets off into the night sky. It knocks the Grinch and Max right onto their seats. They hold for dear life. See the Grinch's sleigh sail in front of the moon. Suddenly another sleigh enters the frame, heading right at the Grinch. They skid and they swerve, narrowly avoiding hitting each other. Oh, oh, oh.
Oh, oh,
Hey.
oh. Hey,
Out of the way, fat boy.
out you.
The Grinch sings some more as, powered by his pest-blowing air turbine, the Grinch looks down to the roof of his first sortie. As he hits the roof, the song ends. Whoville night, the Grinch's sleigh descends onto the icy roof. The Grinch smiles a perfect landing, but its expression changes when the sleigh just keeps sliding off the other end of the roof and crashes. The sleigh nose down in the snow. The Grinch pulls himself out of the faceplant. He turns to Max, wheezing with laughter.
Oh, don't laugh. Any landing you can walk away from is a good land.
He trips over a shrub and falls on his face.
Ow! My ankle!
He pops back up.
Don't worry, I came prepared.
He whips open his Santa Claus jacket, revealing a Home Depot assortment of tools. He selects a harpoon grappling hook and rams it into the air cannon mounted on the back of the sleigh. Boom! The Grinch's grappling hook has wrapped around the chimney.
That's right, folks. Get it from your local Home Depot store this year. This is stop number 1.
The old Grinchy Claus hissed, and he climbed to the roof, empty bags in his fist.
The Grinch pulls himself to the chimney where smoke drifts lazily up. He takes a water balloon like it was a hand grenade, dumps it down the chimney.
Fire in the hole!
He ducks, squashing Max. We hear a sploosh and a hiss. The Grinch wraps a bungee cord around his ankles.
He'd slide down the chimney, a rather tight pinch. But if Santa can do it, then so could the Grinch. I mean, Santa was on keto this year, so there you go.
He climbs up on the chimney, stands like he's on the 10-meter board.
Half gainer, triple back, triple twist, high degree of difficulty, low level of ability. A very dangerous combination, and I think one of the narrators called you fat. Here he goes.
But when he comes down, his dive is abruptly stopped by his girth. The Grinch is stuck headfirst like a cork in a bottle. Garbled epithets echo up.
He got stuck only once, for a moment or two.
He wiggles and twists and finally disappears. The fireplace, the Grinch's head comes rocketing out, smacks onto the logs. Ow! He springs up again and then back down. Smack! He grabs onto the fire grill, looks around.
Then he stuck his head out of the fireplace flue, where the little Who stockings all hung in a row.
These stockings
He grinned.
are the first thing to go.
The Grinch lets out of the grill. Lets go of the grill, spoings up the chimney. The Grinch pops out of the chimney, goes to his sleigh, grabs the Hoover hose and snakes it down the chimney, switches the contraption on. Christmas items start rattling through the tube and spewing out the machine. The Grinch holds the hamper bag open as he surveys the take. Max whimpers. Next, a saw blade slices up through a floorboard, inscribing a circle around the Christmas tree. After a beat, the tree disappears through the floor, all the presents with it. In its place, the grinning Grinch appears.
Clearance sale. Everything must go.
Then he slithered and slunk, with a smile most unpleasant, around each Who home, and he took every present.
Exterior of a Who front door, the Grinch wires it up with plastic explosive. Max comes up, paws at the door. It opens.
Well, bully for you.
The Grinch slams it shut again and it blows up.
There. I got it open.
The Grinch has a sack full of presents. He runs to the chimney, jumps onto a spring, and vaults up the chimney. We hear a loud wham. The Grinch falls back down.
Oh. Note to self, open flue.
The Grinch creeps over one a bridge in the square. As soon as he leaves frame, he appears somewhere else, creeping along. The Grinch is stealing presents. He sees a video game.
Never understood the appeal of these.
The Grinch plays the hell out of the video game. It makes the classic game over noise.
What? No! What do you mean I'm supposed to die first? What is this Demon Souls crap? This is... Oh, come on! New game!
Miss Rue's house. The old teacher sleeping next to her cat. A Grinchy hand enters frame and plucks the lens out of her glasses on the night table. To see the Grinch wielding the Hoover like a malevolent maid vacuuming up her stocking and presents. Her matronly school clothes are sucked off a sewing mannequin, revealing sexy lingerie underneath. Then even that is sucked off, revealing even smaller pasties beneath. Finally, her cat is sucked out of the room. Max sees the cat come bulging through the vacuum hose, hissing and yowling. Max considers for a moment, flicks a switch and reverses the vacuum. Back in Miss Ruhu's bedroom, the Grinch looks baffled as suddenly the hose loses suction. Puzzled, he shakes it, then looks inside, checking for an obstruction when rail! The pissed off cat pops out, claws extended and attaches to the Grinch's face. He struggles for a beat, picks up a glass bottle, tries to bash the cat and conks himself on the head. He's out cold. The cat calmly walks off. In another house, the children's bedroom, Who children are asleep. Thought balloons above them show visions of sugar plums dancing in their heads. The Grinch sneaks in and from their dream balloon snatches the sugar plums. On a curtain window, pull back to reveal a giant Grinch peering inside. Pull back further to reveal the Grinch is not giant, the house is tiny. The Grinch opens the tiny gate and tiptoes up the tiny walkway, then rolls up his sleeve and sticks his hand down the chimney. Back to the video game, the Grinch and Max now play.
Jump, Cupid, you magnificent freak.
The Grinch approaches the front door. A sign reads, "Caution, burglar alarm." The Grinch smiles, points a finger and a claw, springs out. He steps to a window, cuts a circular hole in the glass. He presses his lips to the glass, pulls out the circular piece, turns to the camera fish-faced. The Grinch and Max come through the window, start to walk through the room. The Grinch stops them short.
No, too easy.
He takes out a deep breath and breathes out a green cloud of smelly, Grinchy breath, which reveals a series of crisscrossing security beams. The Grinch weaves through the beams like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Entrapment. That's a dated reference.
It's a movie from the 90s, people.
Yeah, with Sean Connery. The Grinch, still crawling, opens the door, peeks in. He starts to guffaw, has to slap a hairy hand over his mouth. Mayhew in bed, his hair in his curlers, chin strapped to stave off middle age. On the bedpost hangs his trusty girdle. He holds the Cheermeister award like it's a teddy bear. The Grinch takes the award, then steals the girdle with delight. But the eyebrows curl when he sees Martha May's picture on the bedside table.
Jeez, Martha. Oh, that's not me. It's the sleepy guy. And he's muted.
He's talking in his sleep.
Please, Martha, I want a kissy.
The Grinch considers this, picks up Max, starts to hold his muzzle up to the Mayhew's puckered lips. At the last second, the Grinch turns Max around for Mayhew to kiss his other end. Mayhew smooches away as his eyes bug out.
What is that lipstick you're wearing? It sends me to distraction.
Grinch puts Max down, and Max scoots his rear end along the carpet disgustedly. The Grinch goes to the bathroom, runs the tap, and returns with a bowl of warm water. He puts Mayhew's wrist in it, and before leaving, he opens up his Santa coat and removes a large coil of tinsel. He ties both bedposts and throws the rest of rope out the window. As he and Max exit, the Grinch creeps through the immaculately decorated house. He peers into Martha's bedroom. Martha May, asleep in a room full of candles, looks beautiful. The Grinch stares for a beat, lost in reverie. He snaps out of it, shakes his head, begins the task of stealing Martha's Christmas layout. Thousands of gewgaws, each wrapped with painfully anal compulsive attention. Finally, the Grinch grabs Mayhew's ring box off her dresser, pockets it, heads out. Martha May, lying in bed asleep, happily clutching something. It is the angel that the Grinch made as a Who-Venile and dropped on the ground. At Lulu House, Cindy Lou is sound asleep in her room. We hear a clatter noise that makes Cindy Lou's eyes flutter. In the living room, on the tag a gift, it reads, "To Cindy, Merry Christmas." Pull out to reveal it's attached to the swing set Lou was building. Lou's torn long johns are still bolted to the framework. The Grinch drags it across the floor.
Who built this thing?
He stuffs the swing set up the chimney. The living room is now barren.
And now, to the fridge.
The Grinch opens the door of the refrigerator, tilts it. Things fall into the bag. Then he slunks
Then
to
he
the
slunk
icebox.
to the
There
ice
you go.
box. He took. Oh, my bad. Yeah.
Oh, you go,
Slunk
go,
to that
go.
ice box. He took the Who feast. He took the Who pudding. He took the roast beast.
He looks into the fridge, pulls out a rancid-looking sardine.
Mmm, sushi.
He swallows it like a seal. He takes the ice cube tray out of the freezer, cracks it into the bag.
He cleaned out that ice box as quick as a flash. Why, that Grinch even took their last can of Who hash.
Looks at the can of hash.
Now with 30% more organ meat. Yum.
He drops it in the bag, rips open the cupboards, runs his arm along the inside, cleaning out every jar and can. In the staircase, tiny fuzzy slippers pad down the winding stairs while the Grinch is hoisting the Lou-Hoo feast up the chimney.
Then he stuffed all the food up the chimney with glee.
And now,
Grinned the Grinch.
I will stuff up the tree.
He lifts the tree. We hear a crack.
Oh, my back. Oh, lift with the legs, stupid. Never skip leg day.
And the Grinch grabbed the tree and he started to shove when he heard a small sound like the coo of a dove.
Excuse me.
Grins, jaundice, eye pop. He turns to see Cindy Lou. He sheepishly tries to hide his face using a branch of the tree jammed in the hearth.
The Grinch had been caught by this tiny Who daughter, who'd got out of bed for a cold cup of water.
Santa Claus, what are you doing with our tree?
But you know that old Grinch was so smart and so slick, he thought up a lie, and he thought of it quick.
Oh, why, my sweet little whatever this word says. I don't know. I can't read it.
Tot. Sweet little Tot. That's okay. The fake Santa Claus lied.
Ah, Tot. Yeah, whatever. There's a light on this tree that won't light on one side. So I'm taking it home to my workshop, my dear. I'll fix it up there. Then I'll bring it back here.
Cindy Lou blinks.
I can't believe I'm actually looking at Santa Claus.
Well, here I am, Santa. I'm certainly not the Grinch, if that's what you were thinking. Okay, off to the South Pole.
Don't you mean North Pole?
Right. See, the North Pole's being renovated, so I'm working out of the South Pole this year. Got a little timeshare with the Tooth Fairy and, Sasquatch. Good guy, gotta go.
He turns to leave.
Before you leave, tell me one thing. What's Christmas really about?
Vengeance! Presents, of course, obviously.
I was afraid of that.
And his fib fooled the child. Then he patted her head. He got her a drink and sent her to bed.
Into the kitchen, glass of water. Then, as he's herding Cindy Lou back to bed, she stops, looks up at him.
Santa, don't forget the Grinch. I know he's mean and hairy and smelly. His hands may be cold and clammy, but don't hold that against him. He's got this little itty-bitty heart. I think he's actually kind of sweet.
Sweet? You think he's sweet?
The Grinch swallows. Cindy Lou smiles and nods, pads back upstairs. Has the kid gotten to him?
Nice kid, but not a very good judge of character.
He grabs a stray glass ornament, takes a bite out of it.
And when Cindy Lou went up with her cup, he went to the chimney and stuffed the tree up.
The tree disappears. The Grinch hangs one of his cave-ripened socks on the mantle. Then he ties the winch cord around his waist and gives a tug as he disappears up the chimney.
And the last thing he took was the log for their fire.
And reaches out, grabs the log.
Oh, hot plate, hot plate.
Then he went up the chimney himself, the old liar.
Everything is stolen.
He left nothing but hooks and some wire. And one speck of food that he left in the house was a crumb that was even too small for, how stingy are you? Greedy
A mouse
ass.
approaches the tiny crumb. A green hand reaches in, takes the mouse. Later, the Grinch moves the sleigh down the street, connecting one string of lights to another, creating an endless series. He finally connects the plug to the town tree. The Grinch unscrews a single bulb, licks his finger, and sticks it into the socket to test it.
Oh, yeah, wow, that's good.
The Grinch reaches into his pocket and takes out a single dead Christmas bulb and screws it in. Pop! All the lights in Whoville go out. He smiles a big smile.
Then he packed up a sled, packed up with their presents, the ribbons, the wrappings, the tags and the tinsel, the trimmings, the trappings.
That was too easy.
He fires up the turbines to make his escape, but the sleigh sputters and stalls. He taps on the fuel gauge. It's on the other side of E. The Grinch growls. Max laughs.
Oh, I don't know why you're laughing.
Max pulls the sleigh up the snow-covered, practically vertical slopes.
3,000 feet up the side of Mount Crumpet. He rode with his load to the tip top to dump it.
Work it, Max. Feel the burn. All you.
The top of Mount Crumpet at dawn, the Grinch parks the the sleigh, loaded with the Who's entire Christmas on a pinnacle of rock. It teeters there 3,000 feet down in any direction. Then, as the sun just peeks over the horizon, he turns his gaze down toward Whoville, chuckles.
They're just waking up. I know just what they'll do.
The Grinch's cave. The Grinch pulls down the handles of his periscope and pans the Who's house for shots of Xmas morning shock.
Their mouths will hang open a minute or two.
The Grinch imitates slack-jawed bovine shock to max.
Then the Who's down in Whoville will all cry.
He looks back into the periscope and sees Miss Roo-Hoo stands bald-headed in her empty living room and squints. This can't be right. She put on her glasses, still can't see anything. Boo-hoo. Martha May's house, she wakes up and sees all her Xmas preparations gone.
I had a little too much nog. Did I sleep in the wrong house again?
She looks around, realizes, no, this is her place. She bawls with the horror of it all.
Boo-hoo!
And takes a big pull of nog. In Lou-Hoo's house, Lou frantically searching the house.
They took everything.
So they took a few things. We'll be all right. My lights!
Houlihan's house morning. He bursts from his house, runs to a squad car. We stay with him as he squeals off. It is then we see a coil of rope quickly unspooling at the curb. At the same time, Mayhew wakes up and senses something odd. He looks under his sheets, makes a face. Suddenly, the bed is yanked with a crashing of glass and wood. Out through the window. Houlihan driving, red and green lights flashing, sirens blaring, completely unaware that he is dragging Mayhew in his bed behind him. Back at the Grinch, he roars with laughter as he watches the scene on his periscope.
I love a parade.
At Whoville, the Xmas morning, dozens of Who's, attired in bathrobes and pajamas, are all standing numbly in the street. There's Miss Roo-Hoo, Martha May, the Who firemen, and all. Suddenly, Houlihan's squad car comes to a screeching halt. He gets out, but no one is looking at him. They, especially Martha May, are stared all slack-jawed at. Mayor Mayhew, for all the world to see, girdless, in curlers and chin strap, a suspicious wet mark on his sheets. He stands pathetically, removes his curlers and chin strap. He stands on his bed, trying to hold his head high.
Look what happened! Someone strapped this ridiculous thing to my face, made me strangely damp, and added 30 pounds to my hips and thighs.
I'd say more like 45.
Shut up! If you're looking to point the finger, the fiend who did this to me and to all of us is up there.
He points a finger to Mount Crumpet. From the sound of the grumbling, there seems to be a consensus. Cindy Lou pipes up from the back of the crowd.
Got it all wrong. It wasn't the Grinch who took the presents. It was Santa.
An audible gasp. Everyone turns to the little Who.
I saw him. He took our tree to fix it. He has the timeshare in the South Pole with the Sasquatch.
There is a derisive laughter. Lou looks pained by it. Back at the cave, the Grinch watching through the periscope.
Oh, silly child. Only idiots have timeshares anymore.
The Grinch cackles, races over to the x-ray machine, flicks it on. It shows a tiny speck of a heart.
Oh, look. It's the size of a pea.
Ruff, ruff.
Right. A baby pea. I'm down to fighting weight.
He chuckles, heads outside to the sleigh.
You talk about getting everything you want for Christmas.
Down in Whoville again, Mayhew addresses the crowd.
Christmas is ruined.
He stares down at Cindy Lou. Everyone takes a step away.
All because this little girl had the nerve to use the sacred Book of Who to tell us how to behave towards a social miscreant. I hope you're very proud of yourself.
Cindy Lou Who shrinks under his gaze. A little tear starts to drop from her eye when...
Well, if she isn't, I am.
Lou steps between his boss and Cindy Lou protectively.
I'm glad he took our presents.
The crowd is puzzled.
Because that's not what Christmas is really about. Gifts and contests and fancy lights. Sorry, dear.
The crowd's nodding now. He's right. Mayhew looks concerned.
And I guess that's what Cindy's been trying to tell everyone. And me. She was trying to tell me Christmas is about being together with our families and loved ones. And that's all. Everything else is superfluous. And that means unnecessary. Doesn't it?
Cindy nods and smiles. Lou puts his arm around her.
Merry Christmas, Dad.
She gives Lou a tight squeeze and a kiss. A big smile spreads over his face.
I don't need presents. What more could I want for Christmas than this? Merry Christmas, Betty Lou. I have absolutely nothing more to give you.
She smiles as he hugs and kisses her. Betty Lou looks into his eyes.
Merry Christmas, you hunk of burnin' who. I have absolutely nothing more to give you.
They kiss. Betty dips Lou. The ball is rolling. Each Who turns to the next. After the family, Stu and Drew race over to Junie and Christina.
Merry Christmas,
you two.
We have
absolutely nothing more for you.
We've got a little something for both of you.
The girls wrap their arms around them and give them a kiss. I got some!
I got some!
Martha May walks over to an uncomfortable Betty Lou.
I know you don't like me, Betty, but I just wanted to tell you, you had the nicer lights.
And I should tell you, I stole one of the headlights off your car.
Two women hug and wish one another a Merry Christmas. Mayhew and Hubris watch the scene with amazement. Finally, Hubris turns to Mayhew, opens his arms with a hug.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Mayhew. I have nothing to give you except my eternal love.
What?
I mean respect. Merry Christmas, sir.
Top of Mount Crumpet, the Grinch at his sleigh, unaware of the transformation taking place below. He starts to push the sleigh full of all the Who's Xmas goodies towards the cliff.
Boo-hoo, let the waterworks begin.
And he did hear a sound ringing over the snow. It started in low, then it started to grow. The Grinch, with his hand to his ear, hears something echoing up from Whoville. It causes his brows to knit.
Not easy, is it?
But the sound wasn't sad.
Wasn't sad. Like, this sounded merry. It couldn't be so, but it was merry. Very.
It sounded like singing. Baffled, he runs back to the cave. The Grinch puts his eye to the periscope.
He stared down at Whoville. The Grinch popped his eyes. Then he shook. What he saw was a shocking surprise.
To the periscope, the Who's are euphoric as they all sing their merry song.
Christmas, Fahu-Ramis, Christmas Day is in our grasp, as long as we have hands to clasp.
Oh God, it's a solo.
Edge of the group, we see Cindy Lou Who slip away.
Every Who down in Whoville, the tall and the small, was singing without any presents at all.
The Grinch turns to Max, who gives him, "What have I been telling you?" look as he bobs his head to the music.
He hadn't stopped Christmas from coming. It came. Somehow or another, it just came just the same.
Agitated, the Grinch takes another look in the periscope, searching the Who's below.
All right, that's it. Next year, I blow Christmas up. I mean, there's nothing worse. Nothing like that could happen this year is, I guess, something like that, maybe.
Cindy Lou appears out of breath. She looks around.
Mr. Grinch?
No answer. She sees the sleigh climb up toward the summit looking for him. The Grinch walks outside, just missing Cindy. He paces back and forth in the snow.
And the Grinch, with his Grinch feet ice cold in the snow, stood puzzling and puzzling.
How could it be so? It came without ribbons. It came without tags. It came without packages, boxes, or bags.
And he puzzled and puzzled till his puzzler was sore.
Under this, we see various shots of the Grinch puzzling, sitting on a rock like Rodin's the Thinker. In the cave, at a chalkboard doing complex calculations, still no answer. The bathroom, sitting on the toilet like Rodin's the Thinker.
Then the Grinch thought of something he hadn't before.
Maybe Christmas
He thought.
doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas perhaps means a little bit more.
His eyes suddenly widened in shock. The Grinch writhing, he's having a grand mal seizure. His hand clutches his heart. He chokes. He gags. He looks to Max for help. Max scratches himself disdainfully.
Oh, unbelievable. You take care of yourself. Eat right. Exercise. And then you have a heart attack.
We zoom into his chest as we see something inside beating, getting bigger and bigger. Max barks at him.
What? I'm not having a heart attack. I hope it's not the other thing that plagued the... No, it can't be that. I wore a mask. I'm having a heart.
What happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day.
The Grinch looks up, his hands, they're turning from blue to red as he sits up.
Oh, maybe it's all the extra blood in my head, but a little voice is telling me to return those presents.
Max, so taken with the Grinch's breakthrough, runs over to him and licks the Grinch's lips. Yup.
Oh, no, I don't care if it's Christmas. That's disgusting.
He and Max race up towards the sleigh. At the top of Mount Crumpet, the Grinch and Max run up. The sleigh starts to slide.
Oh no, the sled, the presents, my commuter mug.
The Grinch runs for the sled, grabs a hold of the back rails. He digs in his heels, trying to stop it, but he's slipping just then.
Mr. Grinch?
The Grinch looks up, sees her sitting on top of the sled holding a commuter mug.
Cindy Lou, what are you doing here?
Mr. Grinch, I just wanted to tell you it is all worth it.
What is?
Christmas.
When he hears this, something happens to him, something magical. He fills with strength. Not only does he stop the sleigh from going over, he lifts it over his head in the dawn light. He sets it down again atop the peak.
You saved me.
Well, I lifted with my legs, see? Don't ever skip leg day. It made all the difference.
All of a sudden, the sleigh falls back the other way.
And the minute his heart didn't feel quite so tight.
Mount Crumpet, various shots of the runway
He whizzed
sleigh.
with his load.
Careens 30,000 vertical feet straight
He
down.
whizzed.
Holds on for dear life. Now it's your turn.
He whizzed with his load through the bright morning light.
Oh, that makes more sense now.
Whiz.
I got it.
The Grinch
Whiz
is
with
being
his
dragged
load.
behind
The
the
whole
sleigh.
load. Whizzing.
Oy vey. He manages to stand, so he's skiing behind the sleigh. Finally, he pulls himself up to the front, gets a hold of the controls. He's just about to apply the brake when the sleigh hits a rock, sending him up in the air. He lands in front of the sleigh, running for his life.
The brake, Cindy.
Too late. The Grinch is cut off mid-sentence as a tree limb catches him by the throat, fixes and whips him backwards. Miraculously, he lands back in the sleigh. He hangs on to Cindy, who hangs onto Max, all for dear life.
I suppose I could have mailed this stuff back. Oh.
Max puts his paws over his eyes as they hit a ski jump and go airborne. In the town square, the Who's are all gathering in the town square singing. They all look up just as mid-air as the sleigh careens through the street. Cindy gives him a look.
I mean,
Martha and Betty spot the sleigh.
Grinch? Cindy, my baby!
Martha and Betty spring into action. Betty grabs a string of lights.
Grab an end.
Take the red ones. The blue ones clash with your blouse.
They stretch the string across the street, catching the sleigh in the nick of time. The sleigh, despite its rough ride, not a person, present, or tree ornament is lost. The Who's slowly enter back to frame. Lou and Betty rush to their daughter. The Grinch looks at the crowd staring at him. For some reason, they don't seem mad. They're smiling. Martha may even a little more.
Stop all the smiling. You're creeping me out. All right, I admit it. I waive my right to remain silent. I'm sorry. But
Grinch opens his arms wide.
I am the Grinch that stole Christmas.
What's up, Max talks to him cutesy.
Come on, Max. Good boy. Time to go to prison. Yes, that's right. We're going to prison. Yes, we are. Get some ice cream sandwiches because there's always money in the banana stand. No touching.
He holds out his wrist for Houlihan to cuff, but Houlihan just stands there smiling.
Well, officer, he admitted it. You heard him.
I heard him, all right. He said he was sorry.
Mayor Mayhew can't believe his ears.
But look what he did to our Christmas!
Everything seems to be here.
What? He came into our houses. He made us wear curlers. Back me up, people. Martha.
He looks around. Martha on top of the sleigh, digging in the sack of presents. She emerges with a small box.
Merry Christmas, Augustus Mayhew. I'm afraid I do have something for you.
She slides down the sack to the ground.
Your ring back. Sorry.
Martha May goes over and takes the Grinch's arm. Mayhew is in shock. He looks at the ring. He looks at what's left of his house.
'Tis not how I planned to spend the best Christmas ever.
Never.
The biddies push through the crowd and take Mayhew by the elbows.
Sorry, I had to change quickly. I didn't realize I was coming. So I'm quite spry for an old lady. I surprised myself with my speed. But there, dear. You come home with us. Every day is Christmas at our house.
That's right. Hooticus, you've returned.
She plants a huge kiss on him. The Grinch smiles sheepishly, takes a tiny bulb out of his pocket, licks the end, and replaces the bad one in the citywide series of Christmas lights. Suddenly, the tree lights all blink on. Not just the tree, but Christmas lights everywhere around town. Now, Officer Houlihan approaches, but instead of cuffing him, the cop holds his hand. Cindy Lou takes the other hand.
Merry Christmas, Mr. Grinch.
She gives him a kiss on the cheek. She flinches back, surprised.
Your cheeks so...
Yeah, I know. Hairy.
No.
Dirty. Oily. Do I have a pimple?
No. Warm.
He likes that. He's almost feeling human.
Merry Christmas, Cindy Lou.
Then all the Who's form a hand-holding circle around the tree, and they all start to sing. The Grinch is really belting it out.
Welcome, Travis, who bloody scared this.
The Christmas banquet is in full swing. Every Who in Whoville is gathered at the famous S-shaped table piled high with Christmas treats. The kids are all playing with their toys, and the square echoes with the noise, 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 as the roast beast is placed on the table by the butcher. The Grinch seems slightly overwhelmed by it all. Martha leans in, snuggles against his arm. His other dinner partner, Cindy Lou, smiles, and amid the cheers of the Who's, the Grinch carves the roast beast. The first piece gets passed down to Max, who has his own spot at the table, and wears a bib. He digs in.
So he brought back the toys and the food for the feast. And he himself, the Grinch, carved the roast beast.
Martha May and Betty take over, passing out the heap. But even Max gets one. Mayor May, who's there too, he takes a bite, looks concerned.
Oh, my throat!
The scientist Who from Who-bilation leans over, peers into Mayhew's mouth.
I don't believe it! Your tonsils have grown back, and they need to be removed. Again!
Really? Now, that is interesting. You see, the last time Doctor?
The scientist is gone. We find the Grinch pouring a glass of wine. He makes sure no one is looking. He sneaks a bit of the bottle. Martha May leans over.
Grinchy, darling, I have a fabric that matches the fungus on your cave walls exactly.
What's that now?
Well, we're going to have to redecorate if we're going to do all that entertaining. Starting tomorrow, we've got to get ready for Easter.
Easter? I hate Easter. Everybody's got to have a bonnet. We're all just big babies in our bonnets, going on a treasure hunt for what? A stupid egg? I might crawl through the bushes for a bucket of wings, but an egg? No, thank you. And what bunny's laying eggs? I mean, really, I had a bunny once. All he did was eat and go to the bathroom, eat and go to the bathroom, and when I tried to pet him, he bit me. 12 rabies shots in the gut. Happy Easter. And another thing.
We zoom out, revealing the entire town in the midst of joyful noise. We fade out. The end.
Yay! We did it! Great job, you guys. I got to really bust out the stage makeup tonight, so that was fun for me. I love all the hairstyles we got with Mandy and with Olivia, and obviously Sean with your beautiful look. I know, it's so good. And Kelsey with the giant dog ears. I love it. John, how's your nose feeling?
It was getting sweaty, so the tape stopped working. I had to reinforce it.
It blended in really well. I couldn't really see the tape, so
thank you.
You really suffered for your heart tonight.
Hollywood magic.
Mm-hmm. And Matt, is your skin breathing through all of that?
What are you talking about?
Yeah, no, nothing. Oh, I was talking about the scarf.
Oh yeah, it's kind of hot.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah, you got to turn up the AC before you do that.
Got the fan on.
Yeah. Oh, good. Well, this is awesome, you guys. So I'm glad we got to do this one. I'm glad we got to have fun doing How the Grinch Stole Christmas, not the original, not the one about Benedryl Cabbagepatch, but the new or the new old one, the only live action one that's ever existed. So we got How the Grinch Stole Christmas, the Jim Carrey version. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to Troy for taking over the stage directions tonight. That was awesome.
That was a lot of talking, dude.
It is a lot of talking. I enjoy hearing the sound.
I'm trying to keep the energy moving. I was just like,
no, I get you.
Yeah, bro.
I'm glad
it
I
all
got
makes sense now, dude.
All on you.
Right? Just a little bit. But this is the second one in our holiday series. We will be doing one next week. And then that will probably be our final one for 2020. So make sure to follow us on all the social medias. Make sure to watch the season finale of The Mandalorian this Friday, seeing as Baby Yoda.
Are you kidding me?
now
I'm watching
distracted.
it Thursday night at midnight.
I'm sorry. You're right. Friday morning, Thursday night, whatever it is for you, just do it. We are not sponsored by Disney Plus. Don't sue us. So other than that, follow us on all of our social media platforms. Follow us on YouTube so you know what our next showtime is going to be, our next day. It's going to be next Wednesday at 7. We're pretty consistent about that. But find out what we're going to be doing by following us on Facebook and Instagram. That way we know exactly up to date on which holiday movie we are going to be doing. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for joining in the Who-bilation, and we will see you all next week. Have a great night, happy holidays, and stay safe out there. Bye!